There's a strange feeling that appears at the beginning of every major world crisis. It is not panic, at least not right away, and it is not confusion either, even though information is usually chaotic at first. The feeling is familiarity, a sense that this has happened before. The tone of the news feels the same, the language feels the same, the emotional pacing feels the same, and even the arguments online feel recycled, as if everyone has been assigned a role they already know how to play. The unsettling part is not that crises happen. History is full of disasters, wars, collapses, pandemics, and emergencies. That part is normal. What is not normal is how consistently these crises unfold in the same way. Different causes, different consequences, different eras, different technologies, yet the structure is nearly identical every time. It feels less like chaos and more like a template. Not written down anywhere, not officially acknowledged, but followed all the same. This is not claiming there is a single group secretly controlling everything. That idea is too simple and too comforting. This is about patterns, patterns across decades, ideologies, countries that claim to oppose each other, and crises that have nothing to do with one another on the surface. Wars, terrorist attacks, financial crashes, health emergencies, environmental scares, technological panics, completely different events, yet the same emotional and informational sequence repeats again and again. Once you notice it, it becomes impossible not to notice it, and the question stops being, who is behind it? The real question is why the script works so well every single time. Every major crisis begins with a triggering moment, a signal event that disrupts normal life. A shocking headline, a sudden collapse, an attack, a discovery, an announcement that dominates attention. At first, information is fragmented and contradictory. Early reports do not line up. Numbers change. Eyewitness accounts conflict. Videos circulate without context. Experts disagree publicly. This creates intense attention without clarity. People refresh their feeds constantly, searching for meaning and sharing anything that feels like information. During this window, there is no dominant narrative yet. Multiple explanations coexist, speculation thrives. The public is alert but directionless. Then something shifts, usually very quickly. The confusion narrows. One explanation begins to dominate. One framing becomes standard. Media outlets start using the same phrases, sometimes word for word. The same experts appear everywhere. Politicians who normally disagree suddenly align on the core interpretation. This does not require secret coordination. It happens because uncertainty is uncomfortable, and systems that rely on stability move toward a shared story. Alternative explanations do not disappear immediately, but they are labeled as rumors, misinformation, or dangerous speculation. The range of acceptable discussion tightens. This is when a crisis stops being chaotic and starts being managed. Once the narrative consolidates, the issue stops being about what happened and starts being about who you are. There are now responsible people and irresponsible people, serious voices and reckless ones, informed citizens and dangerous skeptics. Neutrality becomes suspicious. Asking questions is no longer framed as curiosity but as harm. Doubt becomes evidence of bad character. This phase turns social pressure into enforcement. No laws are needed at first. People police each other. Families argue. Friendships fracture. Online spaces harden into camps. The most effective part is that it feels natural. People genuinely believe they are protecting others by attacking dissent. Fear combined with moral certainty is a powerful force. It simplifies complexity into loyalty tests and transforms disagreement into betrayal. Once this moral framework is in place, extraordinary measures become possible. Actions that would have caused outrage months earlier are now framed as necessary or temporary. Rules change, rights are reinterpreted, systems are restructured, speed is emphasized. There's no time to debate or slow down. Anyone who hesitates is framed as endangering others. Even people who feel uneasy comply because the cost of resistance feels too high. And this is the key detail. Many of these measures remain long after the crisis fades, not because of malice, but because systems rarely revert. Temporary becomes permanent through inertia. Eventually, the crisis loses intensity. Attention shifts. The emergency tone softens. The public exhales. But the world does not return to what it was before. New norms remain. New precedents are set. Boundaries that were crossed during the emergency become normal. When the next crisis arrives, those boundaries are no longer shocking. They are familiar and expected. This is not a conspiracy. It is institutional memory combined with human psychology. Each crisis expands what is considered acceptable, and because each one is framed as unique, the larger pattern goes unnoticed. What makes this unsettling is how well it works across cultures and political systems. Democracies and authoritarian states alike follow the same emotional arc. That suggests something deeper than coordination. It suggests the script aligns with human behavior. Under stress, humans crave certainty, look for authority when afraid, seek moral clarity when overwhelmed, and punish dissent when unity feels like survival. Institutions respond to incentives. Governments want order, media wants attention and credibility, corporations want predictability, individuals want safety and belonging. The script satisfies these needs in the short term, while the long-term costs are easy to ignore. Technology has accelerated everything. What once took weeks now happens in hours. Algorithms reward outrage over nuance. This pushes people into camps before they have time to think. Once identity is involved, facts become secondary. The crisis becomes part of who you are. Changing your mind begins to feel like betrayal rather than learning. Expertise becomes symbolic. Certain experts are elevated, while others are dismissed, not always based on accuracy, but on alignment. Over time, trust erodes. The more authorities try to control misinformation, the more distrust they create, and the more control they feel is necessary. A self-reinforcing loop. History shows this pattern repeatedly. Financial crashes, wars, security scares, health emergencies, technological threats. Different details, same structure. The repetition is not accidental. It is adaptive. The most dangerous part is that it trains people. Each crisis conditions the public to respond faster and question less next time. The window for debate shrinks. The tolerance for uncertainty decreases. Freedom becomes something postponed until emergencies end. But emergencies never truly end. They just change names. The goal here is not paranoia. It is awareness. Awareness creates friction. Friction slows the script. Asking how, not just what. Noticing language shifts, questioning urgency, separating disagreement from immorality, remembering that fear does not erase complexity. The script only works if people play their roles, sharing outrage, enforcing moral lines, demanding certainty, silencing discomfort. No one is immune. The question is not whether the next crisis will follow the same script. It almost certainly will. The real question is whether enough people will recognize it early enough to slow it down and refuse to let fear do all the thinking. Because the most powerful moment is at the peak of the crisis. It is the beginning, that brief window where uncertainty still exists, where multiple explanations are still possible, and where thinking is still allowed.